I thought all vegans had cardboard signs and stood in Trafalgar Square and caused arguments to provoke. And it's warranted to an extent, but real change comes from your actions, not by telling people what to do. I feel like if you do stuff to provoke, it's good to an extent to get, you know, building popularity, but you won't necessarily build anything like substantial.
It's hard to maintain that.
Exactly. People fail to realize that you're not the same person when you get up on a platform and speak to a camera or get on stage and do something. You have like complexes about you, you know. My purpose really is to create things that make me happy, and happiness really is something that I prioritize as like my overriding goal.
Before we jump into this episode, I'd love to invite you to join this candid spiritual community to hear more conversations that will help you become happier, healthier, and more healed. All I want you to do is click on that subscribe button, because I love your support. I love seeing all the comments pouring through, all the love pouring through, and we're just getting started. I can't wait to go on this journey with you, whether you're a spiritual seeker or you're just curious about the topic. And we really hope that our conversations will provide you food for thought and inspiration for your own spiritual journey. So join us for honest, candid discussions about spirituality for soul's sake.
For soul's sake, for soul's sake.
Hello and welcome to another episode of For Soul's Sake, a podcast in which we bring to you guests from all plethoras of industries, mainly wellness, spiritualists, vegans, chefs. Today we've got Calum Harris with us. Thanks
Hello.
so much for joining us.
How are we? I'm going to address you, and you. Hi. I don't know if I'm getting the
A little bit about Calum before we begin. I'm going to just give you some of the highlights. This guy's incredible, right?
Yeah, this is an ego boost. So I'm going to sit and...
Take it. It's good.
Okay.
Nominated for 2024's Fortnum's Content Creator of the Year. Won Blogosphere's Award in 2022. The author...
I didn't win.
Oh.
It's okay. Don't worry. I'm down for losing. It's all good. Also, we'll know when this comes out if I am a winner of that Fortnum's Award. And I lost dramatically, but I had fun being there.
Drop a tear. It happened.
I should get a tear tattoo. No, I'm not touching this.
I'll give you a few more. Author of The 20-Minute Vegan, a UK bestseller. That's true.
That is true.
I checked that one.
Yeah.
And a best-selling debut.
You have to check. Because people are like, I'm a bestseller. And it's like, no, you're number one in like waste disposal,
You know what
on
it is?
Amazon.
That's
not bestseller.
The people in the comments are just like ruthless. So if you say something wrong, they'll fact check you.
100%.
So you got to be on it with these things. And the best-selling debut vegetarian and vegan cookbook of 2023. That's The 20-Minute Vegan. If you haven't checked it out, go and get a copy. 20-Minute Vegan. Lots about Calum on here. I've got like a whole bunch of things here, but all to say, I'm really interested that he's a self-taught cook. Learned skills from his mum, the internet, and cookbooks. Let's start there.
Yeah. My mum's like, I mean, I have a good relationship with my mum. Hi, mum. You're right.
Is she going to watch this?
Probably not.
Oh.
No, she's great on tech, to be fair. No, please watch us. But like, yeah, my mum's a lovely woman. And I think obviously like with generations, like they don't really like, you don't realize like how much they actually like learn from what they've got, like, or like what's around them. So like my mum grew up on TV and like using the A to Z map like to navigate and stuff like that, and then
the A to Z.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like technology comes in, and then I'm growing up with that. So then like when she was cooking in the house, she had her knowledge based off what she knew from like obviously like her growing up.
I'm trying to remember like the chefs on TV at that time.
It was like, I mean, we're talking like 10 years ago, so we're still like, we got like Jamie's, Ainsley's, like Harry, like maybe like Delia.
Love a good Ainsley.
Is it Delia? Della?
Yeah.
Delia Smith. Yeah. But basically like those people sort of come into the fold, and I felt like when I was growing up, I was like, I love food. Like I loved cheeseburgers, pizzas, man. Like I love.
Oh, so you weren't a vegan from birth?
No. I've always be a bit boring. Like no offense.
So it's going to be a transformation story here.
Yeah, there is a transformation story in that. That when I was like 15, I was I'd say I was on the side of a tubby bubby, if that's a polite way.
I feel like I'm on the side of a tubby bubby.
Oh, mate, but I don't think there's anything like. I feel look, we accept everything's accepted.
You love
now,
me,
which
yeah?
is sick. Yeah,
Right,
no, you're great. But yeah, no, I feel like with when I was growing up, like as much as like I didn't get down about my weight, and it weren't like I weren't like a massive dramatic transformation, but I really was on the side of, look, I don't like the gym. I don't like running and feeling awful. Like I want to kind of, you know, lose weight and like become a like a healthier, more like, well, like more focused on well-being person than being obsessive and trying to feel like, oh, I have to do a 5-2 diet, or like I have to restrict myself in certain points. So I learnt to cook through like
A desire to be more healthy.
exactly, a desire to be more healthy. And at the time, like Joe Wicks was getting traction, Jamie was still there, like on that health side of messaging and like sort of like showing that freedom within cooking. And it sparked my interest, and I thought, do you know what, Mum, I'm gonna start cooking with you.
Amazing.
And like I want to start making meals, and they weren't vegan meals. They were just like, you know, healthy stir fries, like pastas, making your own pestos and stuff, not buying too much from like shop bought whatnot. And
You were ahead of the curve.
Not really.
Before it was trending.
Yeah, well, oh no, it definitely was trending at that point. But like, I feel like it was obsessional fitness, whereas now it's a lot more freedom thinking fitness. Like, there's so much stress on like well-being now, and I feel like fitness back then was, you're gonna get this result and get ripped, and you're gonna be shredded or toned or whatever. Now it's like, look, you're gonna feel great. You're gonna like have like such a good mental clarity when you finish a workout, and that's like. That's come into play now.
Cool.
But yeah, that really got me started on the whole cooking journey.
Health. I'm just remembering Ainsley.
Yeah.
A combination of that got you started in food, and you went from cheeseburger. Now tell me, okay, the obvious question: cheeseburger to vegan.
Yeah, it's a kind of a jump in it. I feel like when you're, you know, eating, have fun with food. Like, food should be fun. I feel like a lot of people treat food as like sort of a like a requirement, and don't really like take what they're doing and, you know, having
I've
fun
had a lot of
with it.
guests like that, actually.
Yeah, and it's like it's a weird
Measuring
environment.
everything.
Exactly, it's a weird environment to be in. I feel like, look, man, if you've had a teaspoon or like extra thing, whatever, it's not going to kill you. Really isn't. And yeah, I feel like when I was cooking, or when I was in that cooking sphere, this is like a few years into like my cooking journey.
Yeah.
I didn't really question like after what I was eating and where it was coming from. I more or less just went, look, that's healthy, that's not, like, you sort of know.
Yeah.
And it was only until I think it was about 2018, and I was at a family barbecue, and there was a bloke there, family friend, who basically was vegan, and he ate just like the salads and stuff there, because at the time I don't think we really cared about vegan. We were just sort of like barbecue and whatever. I think we barbecue maybe a sweet corn here and there, but I
just found out today sweet corn wasn't actually organic; it's man-made.
Really?
Yeah, sweet corn is. I mean, fact check me if I'm wrong. My wife told me yesterday, because we had sweet corn yesterday, that it's not actually been produced by the sweet Lord. It's actually something that's been man-made in a replacement of maize.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's why the body doesn't digest it. Like, you just
fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. That's why it all comes out as a sweet corn. Like, you know,
that is mad.
I don't recommend to look down the bowl.
No, but I get what you mean.
You know
Basically,
what I mean?
when you have finished your duties in the day and you have to relieve yourself, yes, you do
the
notice that
duties,
there are some sweet corn pellets.
The duties.
You know, carrots are also naturally purple. Like, when they're first grown,
no,
the popular color. Well, basically,
what, beetroot color?
Yeah, it's beetroot color, really. And that's when they were first sort of coming into fruition, when like carrots were grown. But because it wasn't a sellable color, they started to obviously like farm in more orange. So the carrots that like are orange are essentially start from like GM, really, because like they grew more orange variety.
Oh Lord!
So weaned out the purple. But like originally carrots were purple.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, which would have been different. But rewinding back to barbecue. Yeah, I was intrigued by this guy and why he had a salad in his plate and why he looked somewhat ripped. So I was like, oh, and ripped in a good way, like in terms of like he had good muscle about him. Yeah. And I thought,
you were checking him out.
Yeah, not like oh hello, a bit of me. No, yeah. I'm straight. But basically, I was like, all right, what do you eat? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's intriguing to me because I know food at that point.
It's a natural question to ask.
I'm like, what do you eat?
Yeah.
And he told me all his points about obviously the vegan diet and why he was vegan.
Is vegan?
is vegan, and not in an obsessional way. It was just kind of more like a relaxed way.
So it wasn't like one of those like...
No, it weren't militant vegan. That's the thing. So
vegan.
I think at the time, I thought all vegans had cardboard signs and stood in Trafalgar Square and just really caused arguments to provoke. And I get that, but
That is a stereotype, isn't it?
it is. But also at the same time, it's warranted to an extent. But really, real change comes from your actions, not by telling people what to do, in my opinion.
Mic drop, except we're not going to drop the mic.
Sure. From the brand.
Yeah.
But basically, I asked him the questions. He gave me like the arguments for it. So on a health perspective, environment, and ethical side of thing. And I was intrigued. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go and see where we end up. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a month. Because this was back and forth from my mum and dad, because they were like, oh, what if you wither away? Like, what if, like, you know, you become gone and you do end up, like, you know, investing in cardboard and Sharpies and you end up going to Trafalgar Square? And I'm like, look, mum, chill. Like, I'm going to give it a month. I'm going to see where I end up. So it's been about 6 years. And I'm still here, still doing this. Like...
You're not withered away?
No. I feel like I've stayed the same weight,
right.
Which is really mad.
Wow.
Yeah. Which, like, you don't think about. You sort of go, oh, like, cool. Doesn't really matter really about where you get the food, so long as you build up your plate in like in a way that helps macro wise.
Yeah. What I love about you is that you keep exactly how you said. Food is fun. I've been, since I connected with you, whatever it was, like a couple of months or a month ago.
Yeah.
I've been just following your feed. I'm like, damn, this guy's making food fun. So that was definitely like, I was like, this is the title of the podcast, Food is Fun. And then second of all, that you've kind of not gone about it in an activist way. And I think that puts people in a comfortable situation to explore it and not just kind of go, oh, like, yeah, but I don't want to become a warrior, keyboard warrior. Just like, you don't slam people online.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen, I don't see any.
No,
I into that kind of stuff.
I think to really build on like trust and get people cooking, well, for me cooking, or even if you just want to get people involved in what you're doing and what you're passionate with, you have to just put things out there in a positive light. And you can't force people to do anything. You have to just go, look, here's something I've made. Here's something I've like done, whether it be a video or an exercise plan or whatever you're doing, or even like just a song or whatever. You're like, here's something I've done. And you got to just not take it personally and move on and make something else and then just keep making stuff. And if people choose to gravitate towards that, they will.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like if you do stuff to provoke, it's good to an extent to get, like, you know, building popularity, but you won't necessarily build anything like substantial.
It's hard to maintain that.
Exactly.
You just get known as an angry man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and like, so for example, not to pick holes on him, but like Eddie Abu, he's done really well to get popular off his like content and like in terms of like telling people that sugary shit is bad, which it is in.
Oh, he's that dude that goes into like Tesco.
Yeah,
and just, like,
exactly. But then like
mugs off.
Yeah, what I want to ask him is like what then do you? Where do you then take it? Because it's like
right, because it's all just eggs.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to become a comical version of yourself, so like you have to then have backbone to it. And I'm like, hopefully, like he then.
Let's see. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I fully get you.
He's a jacked man.
Because I was attracted. I was fully attracted, and I was like, yeah, he's jacked. He's definitely got something about him. And yeah, we're straight. But where we were checking all this content out, and then I just saw that all he was doing was, and I'm a vegetarian. I take milk products, but I don't do egg, fish, or any meat. And yeah, I just found it really difficult to connect with what he was offering then.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what the alternative. I can't see myself like cracking 12 eggs and just eating that raw. Like, that's just not me.
But like, it provokes interest to then share. But then like, how long does that last?
Sure.
That's one thing I've like.
Well, it'll be intriguing whether he does the bell curve and just like peaks and then just
exactly.
Just
and like, mate, if people were like a good people and like also want to offer something more, then they'll be.
It'll be interesting. Maybe he writes a book soon.
Well, exactly. But point being with that is that I never wanted to be one of those virality people.
Yeah.
And like, I just love the space of creators, and I love the fact that you can make this your living. Like, you can just make something that's a video, like, and based off like what you've got, you can just make something, put it out there, and it can be a job. And I'm lucky that people before me helped pave that way to feel like that's possible, because imagine being like 10 years ago where it's like you don't know if it's going to work out, and you don't know if like Instagram's going to actually monetize like your passion or whatever, or like YouTube's going to be around for long. And now we're in a space where like the digital landscape has ended up like shadowing like TV and radio to the point where they've had to step up and join in. Like, you find out about the most popular TV show on TikTok or Instagram, and you find out from people talking about it online. You don't find out anymore from like, the advertisement. I saw an advertisement on telly for that. No, you see a TikTok of some guy who's like, mate, this film's fantastic. And like,
gone are the days of teletext.
Yeah, because it's it's
Good old
that
teletext.
I don't even remember teletext.
Maybe I'm a bit old.
I'm
for that.
sorry. I think like my mum, to be fair, said that like when like news would come, you'd like say England scored or whatever, you'd hear about it on the telly and it would like come out and broadcast.
Right.
Whereas now it's just like bang, notification, done. So yeah. We've gone on a tangent, but that's all right.
That's right. Natural.
But yeah, that's like,
I don't even know where we started.
either do I. But the point, I think,
now.
where I remember last was that like, I just wanted to like create recipes and
Yeah, not keyboard warring. There
exactly,
we go.
and
Not being a militant vegan.
and that's why like, so I was vegan. I started going vegan in 2018, and I started then creating content a year later because I wasn't ready to like put stuff out there, and I only put stuff out there because what I was seeing at the time was a very limited amount of young people actually getting behind food and making content.
Yep.
And I started through that. Then in lockdown, obviously everyone's indoors and doing their thing, and I started making more videos, particularly Reels was starting to, well, it came out, and I just sort of created new things from there. And from then on, it's just been like, opportunity comes up, see what you do, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of been.
I mean, I
mad.
fully vibe with it because being someone that is trying to share spiritual practices and trying to get people involved and thinking about life outside of the material and whatnot, my whole ethos is surrounded by not being someone that judges those that aren't following my belief system.
Yeah. Well, also, we're both in positions where I'm plant-based. You're into like
Meditation,
what's the
mantra,
practice
kirtan.
called? Kirtan, that's it. But we're both into things that put people out of their routine.
Really, yeah.
So it's like, how do you get people then involved in that? And the truth is that you can't force it. So you just got to like, show how much you love it.
Right. Exactly. Show how much you love it and show it lovingly.
Yeah. Exactly.
And not like put people in a position where you're crap because you're not doing this. Because that's the Eddie thing.
Yeah.
Not we love you, Eddie. Not to
No, yeah. But that's
not like
that. It's not our cup of tea to do that.
It's not.
Do you know what I mean? Like, If you
one thing though that I did want to chat to you about was around. See, when I took on this spiritual stuff, for me, I found myself alienated, and I found myself having to create a whole new clique of people that I was surrounded by.
Yeah.
And I asked other spiritualists from different traditions the same thing, like, how did you deal with the transition of taking up a practice and then finding that your friend circle had changed, that your family looked at you a little bit different. Like, now, I just went to a family do on Saturday, and now it's not how's work, how's things. It's all about like, oh yeah, like you're doing that stuff in it, like that singing stuff in that. And so it's like trying to create a narrative where you can bring people in, but there was a transitionary period of people getting used to what I was doing, and I want to know what that was like for you, because I can imagine. See, look, for an Indian bloke, vegetarianism is kind of common. Like everyone's got an Indian veggie friend.
Yeah.
But for a Western person who's taken up veganism, now it's very common.
I would say, yeah.
Did you have a whole friend circle shift?
Yeah, no.
How did you go through that?
Do you know what? For me, like, I'm very lucky with my circles in terms of like my family are very like open to trying new things. My friends especially have stuck with me throughout it all. My friends are like, I've been vegan for 6 years. My friends have tried my food and they do love it.
It's probably because your food's good.
None of them have gone vegan, and do you know what? That's absolutely fine. Like, it's just like they still love me for who I am.
Right.
Well, I hope they love me. Like, men love, innit?
Yeah.
Straight. But basically, I feel like family dues especially, what the question changed, definitely. So when I first started, it was like, it's sort of like, so why aren't you eating? Why are you doing this? And just like, for me, like, it's just making sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing this on a page and whatever. And it was Like, it was not
Doing this on a page, meaning?
like as in like, oh, I'm making recipes on a page.
Oh,
and
okay.
and it was like, oh, cool, nice, wicked, sound. I'll give it a watch or whatever. And now it's like, oh, you're doing this thing now with so and so, or it's like,
but
oh,
it's also success, you know. Like when people are saying that I'm quote unquote doing all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Then people are more accepting.
Exactly. When people see the likes, like, and it's annoying, but it is a like thing. When they're seeing like numbers and likes behind what you're doing, and like, oh, you're popular, like, or popular, because numbers are.
Yeah, it makes you really successful.
Yeah, it really
makes you a better person.
No, it doesn't. No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, there's people who make millions with no following, and then there's like people who have millions of followers that have no idea what they're doing.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
And aren't nice people in person.
Exactly. Oh, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because like you know what, like at family dues especially, I just go to my brother, and the reason why I go to my brother is because he treats me like a normal human, which is like, I mean,
he doesn't call you like my vegan brother.
No, he doesn't do anything like that, and he doesn't ask kiss, which is like great, because what he does is when there's a family do, and like say the third cousin that spawned out of nowhere has decided to turn up and ask me questions, he'll go off and watch the football, and I'm like, do you know what? I've got an excuse. I'm gonna go off and watch the football, and I'll just sit there and watch football.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like I love chatting about what I'm doing. I'm really grateful for like this being a thing, but I'm just like, you know, when you just like sort of, I love like switching off and not thinking about it. I like just, you know, doing normal things.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I fully get you. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I was so drawn to inviting you onto this podcast. Because, yeah, cool, like, you've got a following, you're successful, you've written a book, you've got cool things going for you. But I just vibed off your energy. I was like, this guy's a cool guy.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And, like, likewise, it's like, it's the thing, like, on paper, like, yeah, wellness and wellness and spirituality, like, they go together on paper, and you think, oh, all your friends are going to be like that, but the truth is that like most wellness people are actually like very hard to talk to.
They are
like,
very hard to talk
like,
to.
it's very rare to get like a click. Like that's why I really like Radhi, for example, because she's
shout out Radhi, we love you.
Radhi, great book as well, joyful.
Check it out.
But basically, the reason why I really got on with her is because although she's living in LA, which is a quote unquote LA lifestyle, like you're living this lovely life of like sun all the time.
Very bougie.
She's British as hell.
Yeah.
Like she's just the same.
Yeah.
Like her family's still in the same place. She still goes and checks in and stuff. Like she's just calm.
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of person I hopefully like want to be, where it's like it doesn't matter what's going on around you or like what highs and lows you're having. If you're the same throughout it, then that's cool. It
was the reason why we started this podcast, actually, because beyond, see, like the thing is, when you're presenting something spiritual, then people think that you're trying to be holier than thou, got a messiah complex about you want to be worshipped and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, let me bring a voice to the persona that people think I am on stage.
Yeah.
Because on stage, I have to present meditation. I have to speak like, okay, we're going to do this now. But at the same time, crack a joke on the stage. I'll do it.
Exactly. But then also at the same time, people fail to realise that you're not the same person when you get up on a platform and speak to a camera or get on stage and do something. Like you have like complexes about you, you know? And I don't know, I feel like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as like you are yourself with it. Like if there's something like, do you know what, like you're probably like, it's gonna feel really like, that's one thing I liked when we did Kirtan at Radhi's launch, and you went, this is gonna feel really weird, you're probably gonna crack up first sentence or two, but once you're in it, trust me, it's cool. And then I vibed with it straight. I can't lie, I felt like I was in like Morocco and like I don't know why I thought Morocco, but I just thought, do you know what, I'm in the desert and I'm just vibing.
That's gonna be my tagline, come and join me in Morocco.
It was like Sita.
Wait, you still got it. Still got it.
Do you know what I felt? That's the thing, right? Because what you gave off was really nice in terms of like, it was like, oh, you keep it going and going and going. Yeah. But then you get on the tube and you're like, this could be slightly racist if I'm just like singing. So I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm just like, I just like this. I just like the noise. I'm just like, please.
Don't kill me.
Please, I'm one of you. I'm vegan. I'm cool. I already subject to like scrutiny. Like, leave it.
Yeah, I got you. It's. I think what you're saying is, what I got from what you're saying is, yes, have a skill, yes, be good at something, but don't then just be surrounded by that one skill or talent, or don't make your purpose your personality.
Exactly. And like it's a weird like segue, but like that's why some of the best artists or my favorite music artists don't listen to their genre all the time.
Right.
Like you have to take on different things.
Can you imagine Stormzy listen to classical FM?
No, he does. I reckon, and like Dave as well, and like Tyler the Creator probably listens to like film scores and stuff like that, and you get a different experience by having different forms of art and like going away from it, and that's why like as much as like my following is my following, like I make videos for me and I make them in the way I want to watch them. So it doesn't matter how many people watch one day. I'm just like, do you know what? That video I like, and like I don't know if like it might be similar to what you've seen before, but you know what? I like that's the way I feel like I want to make stuff.
Yeah, and when I say don't make your purpose your personality, all I'm saying is just do something great and be someone great and whatever, but then at the same time don't get so lost in that, so much so that you can't relate to people who aren't that.
I got told an expression early in my days from my friend Liam, who basically was like, don't get lost in the sauce, which essentially means like whatever's going on around you, whether it be like great and whatnot, like don't make like don't get lost in what's going on. Like you, like at the end of the day, like
you're still a human being.
Yeah, exactly. And you put the phone down, like who are you really? Like what, numbers on screen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do something cool, but like really, like you're a human at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like,
there's this quote I got by this cool guru. He says, you can tell how spiritual you are by what you do when no one else is watching.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if you're the same when, like if you act the same when a camera's on you and when it's not, then like really, like that's who platforms are really meant for.
I've got a bit of a deep one for you.
Go on.
What's your life's purpose? Like what's you 50 years from now? And I don't know, maybe you'll live longer than that, 70 years from now.
Do you know what? It's an interesting...
What do you want that legacy to be? What do you want to be known for?
I'm intrigued.
What are you aiming for?
On a funny note, I'm intrigued of what this next generation is going to look like when they're 70. Because we've started on, like, say, me at 15 starting healthy eating and whatnot. Like, what are people going to look like when they're 70? If they're eating, like, really good, like, they're putting priority into their health and their fitness and their well-being, like, what are they going to look like in decades from now? Like, they might look slightly younger than what you think. Like, you might think, oh, my God. Like,
did you know Tom Cruise is in his 60s?
That's mad. But also, it's the same theory as to why, you know, when you're growing up, and like you have like the big kids in school and the little kids in school, and you're like, I didn't look like that when I was 12. Like they look young. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that sounds a bit sus, but not like that. But don't be looking at kids, people. Like no. But point being, you get what I'm on about. Yeah. All right. But basically,
stay with us. Stay with us. There is a point here. I hope there's a point.
There is a point. Don't look at kids. But basically, my point is that if you're looking young, then like, what are you going to look like when you're 30? You might look like you're 20, like you're in your 20s when you're in 30, and you might look like you're in your 30s when you're 40. My purpose in life then would be obviously health, making sure like I'm getting good rest and I'm like, my skin's glowing.
It's glowing.
Like, I've hopefully got a baddie or whatever or anything like that. No, but also my purpose really is to create things that make me happy. And happiness really is something that I prioritize as like my overriding goal. Like I'll be wholly honest. Like I've been doing this for 5 years. I will do it for another 10 or a few more. Like because I see myself being in this space for a long time. Because I absolutely love it, and like I will connect with all kinds of people and chat about anything because I love art and I love like creating things that resonate with people. And yeah, my life's purpose is kind of to create things that make me happy, but then also things that are good, things that have like give you an extra meaning. Nothing like life hacks or anything like that, but to a point where it's like, oh, I didn't know you thought like that, or like, oh, you're into that. Like, oh, cool. And yeah, I kind of want to make stuff like, obviously, like right now it's food videos and books and stuff, which is mad to say at like my age. Like, I don't know many 25-year-olds doing it, but now there's obviously it's a lot more common to find in the creator landscape. But if you're tunnel vision, obviously, but like wider spectrum, like not many people are doing it.
Yeah, fully.
But yeah, I think no matter what I create, it'll be something that like I'm happy with, and hopefully I'm still earning from. Like, because at the end of the day, that's a taboo subject, but like we do have to pay our bills and stuff, and like that's a thing. And you're like, oh my god, like I need to make sure that what I'm doing is something I absolutely love, because if I'm making money from this, which you do, I need to make sure it's something I fully back. And that's why like I get like antsy with brand deals sometimes, because when things come in, I say no to more than I say yes. But then when I do say yes, it's something I do back. It's something that, oh, that's a cool opportunity. I actually would work with that person because I've liked your product. Or it's like, do you know what? I've had like, say, this block of tofu for like years. I've cooked with it from the start to the finish. I will like back that until the end, until you don't back me. So yeah,
if it connects with you, if it's happy, then go for it.
Exactly.
I mean, two things came to mind. One is that, did you know that if you take up an opportunity just because it's the right thing to do, there's no guarantee of success.
No.
So if you take a risk based on your gut feeling and because it makes you happy, there's no guarantee that will succeed, but at least you're happy doing it.
Yeah. Well, also like it's really okay to fail. And it's like, I think there's more pride. Well, it's braver to do something and it not work than to not do it at all.
The pain of regret.
Yeah. Like, I know deep down that, like, I'm still young on paper.
Yeah.
I feel old.
Yeah.
But I'm still young.
Yeah.
And I know that in 10 years' time, I will sit there, based off my mindset now, hopefully, and go, I've done everything I wanted to do because I gave that a full go. I don't sit there and look back and go, oh, what if I did that? Or what if I did that? I'm like, I'm proper content with this stuff. Like, I've so far, every risk I've tried to take has been something that I've wanted to do and I've given a go, and things haven't worked, things have worked. And yeah, obviously, like, people note down the things that have worked, but I'm more learning about the things that don't.
Yeah. One of the Beatles, I can't remember which one it is, they were at school. I don't know if this is a true story, but it's a wicked story. They were at school and they had an assignment, and the line was, what do you want to be when you're older? And this Beatle, I can't remember who, wrote happy.
It was definitely Paul or John.
Paul
definitely
or
John.
He wrote happy. And the teacher wrote, I don't think you understood the assignment.
Yeah.
And Paul or John wrote, I don't think you understood life.
Yeah.
Because the aim is to be happy, whatever our pursuits are. I mean, we're getting spiritual now, people. But whatever your pursuits are, whether it's in
back on track.
There we go. Whether it's this or that, whether it's, you know, food, or whether it's in business, or, you know, you can be whoever you are, but get to the point of understanding that you're doing it to be happy. And the pursuit of happiness is going to look different for each person. But so long as you make it clear, like, that's the life goal, that I'm aiming to be happy, then it becomes really easy to select whether I go for this or that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we have to become hedonistic and just seeking pleasure and all that, but just try and define what is happiness for you in your life.
Yeah.
Start there, like, what does happiness mean for me? And then once you've got that, then it makes so much sense to just roll back and go, I'm going to do that job. I'm going to go out with that person. I'm going to eat that food because it's going to make my body happy. It's going to make my mind happy. It's going to make my soul happy, whatever that is. Also,
like, on a creating side of thing, like, you have to question sometimes, why are you doing what you're doing? Because if you're doing it to look cool and edgy and, like, trying to, you know, like, do it because it's a trending thing, that fades. That fades within a few weeks, or maybe even a few months or years if you're lucky. But like, why are you doing that thing? Because once you get to a point, and hopefully you feel like that, but I'm starting to feel like this. Like, once you get to a point where it doesn't matter whether you are trying to be cool or not cool, or trying to, you know, like, fit in. Like, once you're doing something that you fully believe in, it really doesn't matter. Like, about anything else.
I went backwards. See, like, with me and my social media and, like, the whole thing being known in the scene, I went backwards because I really loved what I was doing. And I still remember only like 3-4 years ago presenting to like 10, 15 people in a room. And so now on the other side, where I've got thousands of people coming to concerts and stuff, I've gone backwards, and people are like, oh, how did you get to this point? I'm like, I still loved it even when there was no one in the room. I still remember doing it and sharing when there was like one person in the room.
It's like what you said earlier. It's like,
happy.
if you are the same, like, when no one's watching, like, you have to be. You have to absolutely love it. And I tell people that when they do ask, like, how did you do it? It's like, if you're creating something,
first love it.
You have to love it, but then also, like, if you get one like value that to the moon.
100%.
I get down by algorithm, like I get down by algorithm when like, oh, post doesn't do well, it doesn't get seen, doesn't mean you're not relevant. It just like, look, man, algorithms are unforgiving. You can't do anything about it, so it doesn't make you any more like better.
No.
So yeah, I kind of just like, I sometimes have to realize that like I had nothing. I had no attention.
It's like, you know, if you tell someone go to the gym because you have to go to the gym. They might last 30 days because they have to do it. Yeah. But if they love doing it, they'll likely last another 6 months to a year to 2 years, whatever it is. So start with loving the process. Start with loving what you're doing. And it becomes easy. Like, oh yeah, I'll put in another 2 hours doing a podcast because I love it.
Well, that's why that's why I believe in the plant-based message a lot, because I think that this is the future of cooking, the way plant-based diet is, and I felt that from the beginning. And as much as people will like give you some opinions where it's like, oh, the vegan diet's in decline, or it's not, not really. Oh. It's just, it's what it is. People fail to realize that when we first started, we had activism, and we had like people being told what to do in a way that didn't settle well. To now, there are plant-based people who are respected as food people. That's great. You got to think, we used to be bundled, and I used to get this as well. You used to be bundled in the vegan section of the party, and it was like, you were vegan content creators and you other vegan content creators and so on and so forth. And now, luckily, with like the people coming up who are young, I feel somewhat respected as a foodie, and that's important. If you don't really value that change, then like you're not really reflecting, are you? Because, like, really, I used to be the vegan. Yeah. And now I'm like, you are the cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who makes vegan food.
Yeah. Fully. Let's talk about food. What are you eating at the moment? What did you eat today?
Have you eaten anything today? I haven't eaten anything today. Do you know what? I go through phases where, like, I'm a coffee guy. I love my coffee.
Vegan coffee. What's vegan? You have like oatmeal?
Just oatmeal, man. Okay. Yeah, it's something I'd love to say.
Forgive
me.
I
tell you what's interesting. I've recently got into. I'm not a sugary syrup kind of coffee guy.
Okay.
But the Watch House roastery in Bermondsey. There's loads of Watch Houses about in London.
Watch House in Bermondsey.
The guy who I've got his name. The barista's called Paddy. And Paddy one day went, "Would you like a brown sugar in the espresso?" And I went, "Oh, tell me more." Basically, if you put brown sugar...
What's it called again?
Watch House.
Watch House.
Right. But you can... Watch House, basically, is the coffee shop. But I went to the place where they roast it. And he basically went, if you put brown sugar in the espresso...
Yep.
While it's hot... Yep. And it sounds obvious to people who cook, Dory. But it melts the sugar quicker, and you get a better taste of the sweetness than you would in a just popping the sugar in after, and you don't ruin the latte art. So he did that, and I tried it. I was like, yeah, this is my new obsession. So I've been on this like oat flat white with the brown sugar in the espresso. So if you go to like a nice coffee shop,
you mean?
They mix it into the espresso. They don't brew it into the espresso.
I mean, that makes so much sense. But
yeah,
at the same
exactly.
Time, it's like, why
just
have we not
ask them to do it. Just any good coffee shop, not like your chains, but just go, can you put a brown sugar in the espresso? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. And then just mix it in.
If you like that, drop in the comments.
Yeah, do. Drop it. I got caffeinated in the comments. But yeah, I'm eating a lot of meal prep stuff. I'm using when I can't bother to cook, I use all plants. I really like that stuff, and also like it's good like whole foods that like are made by chefs. And I mean, it has like a negative connotation because it's frozen, but do you know what, man? Like, eat frozen foods. What then? They're frozen. They're preserved at the point where there's
no chemicals in frozen.
Exactly, but also they're preserved at the point where they're best. Like frozen fruit, if you have that in a smoothie, they're frozen in season, so they're kept in bags, and then obviously like that's going to be a lot sweeter than what like an imported fruit would be. So if you're doing like protein shakes and things like that, frozen fruit is a good hack. Also, found out about this a few months ago. Another one, frozen spinach. You can get some supermarkets that have frozen spinach, which is cheaper than fresh spinach, but then also you get it. It's segmented into blocks or clumps usually. So you can take 1 or 2 clumps and you've got enough iron that you need in that meal. And it takes 2 or 3 minutes to like sort of disintegrate and like wilt. And
Well, that's a great hack.
It's frozen at like the best point. So
That's a great hack.
yeah,
Frozen spinach.
yeah, frozen spinach. Frozen foods are good.
Wow.
But I'm doing a lot of that. I'm doing quite a bit of meal prep, and these are just things like pastas, like the food that you love. Like,
Where'd you like? Here's a good question. Where'd you like eating out?
what do I like eating out?
Do you eat out?
I do eat out.
Okay.
I'll be honest, yeah. I mean, like, I'm always up for inspiration, and like I like trying new things. I really like Fat Pundit, which is an Indo-Chinese restaurant in Soho. I like Bubbler. I've loved Bubbler a lot. That's Middle Eastern food.
Oh, I love Middle Eastern food. Is it vegan? Fully vegan?
Yeah. Well, vegetarian vegan.
Veggie vegan. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll love that.
Bubbler.
Bubbala.
ALA. Bubbler.
There is a restaurant called Scully, which is really fine dining, which I want to go to again. But the guy Scully is a wizard, and like his food is some of the best I've had in my life.
I'm
like,
so glad this is recorded.
Yeah, honestly,
Scully, Bubbler.
Bubbler,
Those
Fat
Indo-Chinese,
Pundit,
Fat
Fat Pundit. I like. Where else do I like? There's a place in Maltby Street called Degchi, which did really good Indian food. Then I've had
Indian food, man. You got to come to my house.
Yeah. I feel like. Do you know what? I love home cooked meals. I love when people like just like I don't ask questions about spice or anything like that. I just like, mate, baptize me in fire. Like that's one thing. Like I love chili oil and things like that. I'm just like, do you know what? I'm gonna sit down and just enjoy. But yeah, like I mean, like, I went from like I used to hate veg growing up as well. Like I used to be a kid where it was like I used to complain
because it wasn't like spiced in any way.
Well,
right?
that I used to complain when it was like cucumbers in my food. I used to hate cucumbers, and
Right.
now I'm like pickling all my cucumbers in like Scotch bonnet sauce, and I'm like, what? Like, mad. But yeah. That's kind of where I'm eating. I'm just sort of like go out and try new things. And
Is there anyone that's online that's in your industry that you deeply value or like appreciate or like you're looking up to them like that person is really cool?
Do you know what? I don't think about people like in a
shout out.
Yeah, not in a cool way, but like in a way that's like I like really value what they're doing. I like Rowdy a lot. I like I've loved Joe Wicks, Jamie Oliver. Like they're like my inspired people. Like it's weird because like in the 5 years I've done it, I didn't think I'd like have a chance of meeting them or like letting alone working with them, and like, you get to a point where it's like, oh crap, you have, and you're like, what? There's stories on that as cool. Well, but yeah, I guess like for me, I value the people who I create content with at first. So I'm friends with a group of other vegan male content creators called Plant Boys. And essentially, we all make content in our own way, but all with that plant-based messaging, but in a way that's not forced down people's throats. It's just what we're doing is like making food at the end of the day, and everyone does it in their own style, which I've always like prided myself on as well. Like I've never thought, oh, I'm gonna do a video like that, and they've hopefully never thought that about me. Maybe they have, I don't know, but I think everyone's got a different messaging in that group, which is good. So I value them a lot, and obviously they've been ride or die really, because like
ride or die.
Yeah,
it's good to have some ride or dies.
Yeah, definitely. Like my boys I grew up with, like in terms of my school lot, like they're definitely my ride or die. But in the content sphere, I guess they are as well. Like I've never really thought about that, but who else?
He's showing you some love.
Yeah,
Plant Boys getting some love out of
I'm trying to think who else. There's so many creators. There's so many. But yeah, all of them have like, the ability to inspire me. And I just, I'm kind of grateful that I can just sit and take time to watch that now, and like I'm not like outside looking in like I was in the beginning. I'm like, all right, I'm part of this. This is mad. Yeah,
there's a piece around that bringing people in, and we can go down a whole new rabbit hole. But I want to go into quickfire. You feeling some quickfire?
I can do whatever. Yeah, versatile.
He's like, make me sing, make me dance.
Yeah, literally. Like, whatever you want, I'm here. These aren't going anywhere.
All right, let's go. Question number 1.
Okay. 1
word, 1 sentence. This is like medium fire. Like,
what would you like? 1 word or 1 sentence? We'll see how the question is.
Feel out, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Okay, question number 1. What's something that you're curious about right now in your life?
Guitar.
No
I'm
way.
trying to learn it. And it's really funny. So last
Like
week,
you weren't musical in your childhood and that.
I love music and I've always wanted to play it, and I've never been able to play it. I have no coordination whatsoever. I can't even hold a spatula right when I'm cooking. So let alone like learn a guitar. So
Get ready for some finger cramping.
yeah. Well, like also I'm learning chords.
You look like a guitar player.
Oh, do you know what? I've been told I look like Ed Sheeran, which I'm like, I don't know if I take as a compliment. Now I've got tattoos.
Take it.
I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Ed Sheeran's doing all right for himself. So yeah.
Right now, yeah.
But I think yeah, basically
He's done a whole cool thing in India, by the way.
yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
It's quite sick.
Yeah.
But basically, last week I was supporting my mate at the marathon, and there was a guy there who I met who was also coming on his own, and like he does ADHD. Well, he does online coaching, PT for people with ADHD because he's also got it. He's called Max Smith, and
We gotta get him on.
yeah, he's a lovely guy. But also, he was like, I was talking about like sort of I want to learn new things, and he's like, I was like, I want to learn the guitar, and he was like, I've been playing for 15 years. I went, teach me.
Wow.
And, yeah,
So you're learning with him.
He's just been sending me videos and stuff, and like I went out last week and a few days ago and bought a guitar. I was like, do you know what?
Gotta buy one, yeah.
I'm impulsive, man. Like this. But like, and people who are listening, I like rubbed my arm with about 7 tattoos because I'm
trying to
hard.
read them now.
Yeah, you can have a read while I'm chatting.
Proper.
Yeah,
I'm so thankful that I didn't end up with what I thought I wanted.
that's a great quote.
Flipping deep guy you are.
Yeah, I'm all right. But basically, yeah, I'm semi obsessed with that, and I'm also obsessed with cooking. I'm like,
Wicked.
but I love music. And...
Guitar. I'm gonna check in on you. Maybe you can play with me.
Can you play?
I can't play guitar. I can play piano and harmonium. Anything with keys that
Yeah, I do like keys. Keys are quite easy to understand because like
it's systematic.
they correlate to a note, and also
Not
like,
that guitar isn't. I know guitar's like cyclical and all. It's just a whole new mind, and I don't have the age for it anymore.
yeah, exactly. But also like you can play off like one hand.
Yeah.
Whereas like guitar, you do need the coordination of like both like strumming and.
I'm also like really protecting my fingers, and I don't want to get like scabbed up. I'm a bit of a.
Oh mate, I'm all right. Do you know what? I'm like if it messes up, I cook, man. I have the ability every day to maybe chop my finger off.
I mean, I would chop a finger off if I was with you. I'm mad clumsy with a knife, so.
Do you know what? It's all to do with the grip, obviously, and
Teach us.
Well, the grip of how you hold it, like vegetables.
Yeah.
For me, veg are quite hard to cut because they're all different shapes and sizes.
What's the hardest veg to cut?
I'd say onions are still pretty hard to cut
Really,
for me. But I think people who do it flashy, what you fail to realize is that they have really sharp knives. So they can do the technique quick because that knife is slicing through everything from paper to cinder block. So basically, not cinder block, but you get the gist. It's an expression, I think. But yeah, I think when you're chopping, don't feel like you're going to be at that level yet. Just get a good knife, hold the knife or hold the object that you're cutting as if you're a bear grip is called, I believe. You should,
if you're listening to this, drop on the video.
Where basically, I am. Yeah, to the people in the video, I'm explaining to you, Mr. Camera. Sorry, editor. Are you editing as well, Mr. Yeah, cool. Right, thank God. Oh, and you're like, oh, phew. But basically, you essentially chop like this, and then you slowly move.
He looks very cool doing this.
But then also, I'm cautious as hell, so I'm like doing that, and I'm like away from the hand because I don't want to get cut. But yeah,
does it taste any different?
No, everything cooks down. I think it's just texture. So you can save yourself the time by like, say if you're making a curry, just take all the ingredients, aromatics, your onions, your garlic, your ginger, chop it in half/quarters, and then put it in a food processor, whiz it, and you get really smooth curry after that. You could do that before or after cooking that down. But basically, yeah. Where were we?
I don't know. We're talking about guitar, and then we're getting into knives.
Yeah.
All right. Same question.
Yeah, basically. That.
What's something that you're personally working through at the moment?
I will tell you, but I realised where I was ending. With the onion.
Let's go back to the onion.
Make sure when you're chopping veg, flat edge on the board, because you don't want to chop with a wibbly wobbly veg. So carrots, for example, could like potentially, fuck you up. So chop it in half or slice it.
Oh, you first go down the long way?
Go down the long way and then lay it flat. And then
that's
chop.
Game changer.
You need to lay stuff flat. Like I like flat edge. Don't chop with it wobbling all over the place. Like you ever tried to sit on a medicine
ball?
ball?
Half it.
But if you ever tried to sit on a medicine ball, think about it like that. it's easier to sit if the round's flipped and you're just sitting on that. Because that ain't going anywhere. So, yeah, do the same with your veg.
Get stable first.
What am I? Yeah, stable first. What am I personally working through? Do you know what? I'm working through being busy, I guess. I think this is the first time in my life.
Schedules and stuff.
Yeah, but it's the first time in my life where like there's quite a bit I'm working on.
Your
And
manager's like furiously nodding her head in the background. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Schedules.
Exactly. Schedules.
Where's someone to be after this? Calum, wrap it up.
No, she's not like that. She's lovely. But basically, I'm personally working through saying, you know, like, I'm still there for people. I think one thing I really worry about, no matter how much I'm doing and how much it's perceived as like a cool thing or like popular thing, I hope that people understand, whoever's in my life who I'm close with, that like I am still there for them and I have time for those people. I may not be the most responsive person in the world. I may be online putting a story out when I need to answer your message from days ago, but I'm still there and I'm still like, you know, like I want to give effort to people, and like it's hard to, you know, articulate that when you're in this space. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing more condescending. Like I get it. If you're chatting to like someone online, or like let's say, I don't know, you're chatting to like your boy, and like let's say he's a gamer or whatever, and you're like, oh, you coming to the pub tonight, and then like he doesn't respond, and then like you see him streaming, you're sort of like, oh, what? But then also this is the day and age where it's like, look, like it is a bit of like a thing where it's like we can make whatever life we want, so we're gonna take every day to do it if you really are passionate about it. So yeah, that's something
I feel you on it, because I'm exactly in the same place, so I know exactly what you mean.
Like there's so many people I need to like get back to still, and I'm like it's not an offense thing. It's just like please don't take it offensive. But then like if you do take it offensive, then you're kind of not meant for like my life, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like it's like this is where I put myself and this is where I want to be in my life. So it's like you have to understand that I'm like I am
Trying my best.
I'm trying my best. Yeah, like we all are. Yeah.
It's one of my things that after I do any kind of event or anything, at the end, people are like, oh, yeah, that was great. I'm like, to be honest, mate, I'm not perfect. I'm just trying my best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, no one's got it perfect, ever.
What is perfect?
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
a
exactly.
standard you set for yourself that you think you can achieve.
Yeah. Start with progress.
Exactly.
Work on progress. Number 3. In short, we kind of did this, but let's see if you've got something else. What legacy would you like to leave behind in the world?
I mean, if my grandkids can keep talking about me to their grandkids, then
James, a wicked guy.
I've done well. Like, oh, like your
grand.
your granddad, man, he took vegetables and he made them into something, and he got pretty big off it. I'm like, that's cool.
And he was happy.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. He didn't care.
Kind of got happy off vegetables.
Yeah, nah, it sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But everything sounds weird. Everything's a euphemism in some light. But yeah, no, I feel like for me, the legacy I want to leave behind is one to help encourage people that whatever it is they're passionate about.
Yeah.
And like, this could be absolutely anything. It could be DJing, it could be acting, it could be painting, it could be something so specific like a coffee shop, or it could be
someone that makes chairs,
or someone who's into keratin, for example. Like,
oh, I should have said that.
Yeah, but basically, don't ever feel like you can't do anything just because someone told you no.
More dreams have been broken by the words, what will people think,
exactly,
than any other words.
And also, too many people like structure their like well-being or like their opinion on doing something based off the advice of people that haven't done it or aren't in their field. So personally,
choose your leadership.
If there's anyone you should take advice from, it's someone that's doing it and someone that's in it, really. And that's something I feel like should hopefully encourage people. Like,
the hard cycle though is exactly what you said in the first or second question, that is about availability.
Yeah,
it's like, it's so tough because I appreciate someone who's trying to learn from me is going to find it harder to get in contact with me right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the I'm in it right now. But by the time I've got the time, I may not be relevant anymore. Yeah. So there's a balance of watching who's in it and maybe getting personal feedback, but then also looking at people that are maybe 5 years beyond and have got the time.
But this
is
why
that balance.
And that's why I want to do more podcasts, because like I feel like whatever like if I chat to someone in real life and I'm in a room with someone, I will always be positive with what they want to do. I'm like, look, keep doing it, because I got told the same things.
Yeah.
Like, keep doing it. It's gonna be hard, but keep doing it.
You'll learn.
And I will never put that behind a paywall either. Like, I'll never charge for this advice, man. It's free. Like, look, like, just talk to people, encourage people. Like, you want to show that, like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Like,
do what you love and share it lovingly.
We're here on a Monday at like what, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And like, we have the freedom and capability to like chat to camera and like do this as a job.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty cool.
And no doubt someone wants to do that as well. So like, don't feel like you can't do it just because of what you're living right now. Like,
yeah, it's something that Radhi's husband Jay told me years ago when I told him about my dream. Because we were just talking. I told him, like, this is the dream. I want to share this and that. And he goes, start by living the small dream first. I was like, what the hell does that mean? He goes, whatever time you get, weekends, evenings, put some skin in the game and live the small dream. Get one person in the room, get two people in the room. Start there, and you'll just learn as you go.
Yeah.
And he's completely right.
Exactly.
Start with whatever your dream is. Start with a small dream and make it whatever it is in the time that you have. And then slowly and surely it will. Everything that anyone does with some energy, it will momentum into something.
But that's another reason why I feel like I'm at where I'm at, because like I love the people that come in and actually like take interest in what I'm doing. And that's why like I feel like the book did well, because like people know I care about this stuff I put out, and hopefully new people that join understand that whatever I'm doing, like, I've put real thought and attention in, and I care about anyone who comes in. Like, I think one of my favorite things I've ever done was, this was at a time when I was like 50 or 60,000 followers, which 2021, I feel like
that was solid.
You're still solid, and it's solid now.
Yeah.
But right now, it's a lot more common to get that kind of following. One thing I will say is that you have to hone in on those people who are coming in for you. You have to like make sure that they know what they're getting.
Yeah.
And if you take some setback, or you get unfollows or whatnot, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
But on that, this was like 2021, just after like lockdown restrictions were lifted. We couldn't have people like in a restaurant, but I did a pop-up where I had loads of people pay and get a takeaway meal from me, and then they were in Borough Market, so they could just literally go off and like chill in the sunset and whatnot. And then I got a chance to connect with people, and I got about 100 people there, which I was really impressed with, because it's like, mate, I don't think anyone with even like bigger platforms could get 100 people and do that.
It's ground level. You've got to start with community.
You really do. And like, you have to just, you know, like, like they're the people who you like inspired by, or like I'm inspired by as well, had no one. And so you have to like just go, do you know what? Thank God.
Be grateful that there's
one person that cares. Thank God 2 people care. And yeah.
Feel you.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. Something you used to deeply value, but don't value as much anymore.
Likes. Yeah.
I think that one's...
Likes and views. I used to really care. I mean, you do care to an extent if you're relevant or not, and relevancy is dictated by numbers, because numbers, to an extent, don't lie. But at the same time, they do. Because one little trade secret of you, if you see someone with 1 million followers or things like that, you have no idea where those people are from. Right. So, like, let's say, for example, you have someone who was like, oh, they've got 1 million followers. They could be all over China, all over the world. So it's like, what it is about, it's about if you can go into your hometown, for example, and do what you're doing and have a connection with people there, then you're more successful, in my opinion, than anyone with like built up numbers. Yeah. So the moment I realized that, I was like, do you know what? I don't really care. I do if my stuff's not being shown to, like, say, the people that do follow me, but like new people coming in, they will find me. It doesn't matter when or what I'm doing. Like, I will make it my duty to like make good stuff. It's
been a big realization to come to the conclusion that there's a person out there for everyone. You know, it doesn't matter that there's a house with many rooms. If you look at the world as a big house with many different rooms, it's just that room has got some people in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So and the beauty is, no matter what it is, what I'm doing, it's so niche. But at the same time, there's people out there that want it. Yeah. And there's people out there that want what you're doing. Yeah. So if you're someone that's like got some sort of desire or a creative plan about how you want to serve the world, how you want to share with the world, just put it out there, and you'll be surprised. There might be one person, value that one person, like Calum said. I totally love that. And last one, if you could create one law that everyone had to follow, Prime Minister Calum, what would it be?
Stop Rishi Sunak from wearing Sambas because they're my favourite shoe and he's ruined them for me. No, I'm joking. But basically, I mean, I'm plant-based.
I was laughing because I was like, maybe he's going to go off on a serious one.
No, I'm, imagine. No, I just go into like a political agenda. I'm not political at all.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like more people should be encouraged to make plant-based food. I would love to like say one a week and just try it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I feel like there is such benefit to cooking at home plant-based and then going out and then enjoying what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Because like when you do go to restaurants that care, they'll put time and attention into like what they're producing, and then you'll end up with something even better than what you could if you're just buying it through the shelf. And there is disconnect in the supermarket when you do pick up a packet of like chicken breast, for example, if you do, and you don't realize where that comes from. I didn't when I started. So I guess for me, I would love more people to be in tune with the fact that plant-based eating is actually quite simple. It's actually quite cost-effective if you do it right, and it's fun and does taste good if you follow the right people.
Yeah.
I'm not naming names.
He pointed at himself.
I pointed, to the people listening on Spotify, wherever you get this podcast. I pointed at myself, but you most likely follow other people that do a better job. Maybe I'm one of them. Maybe I'm not. I don't know why I'm talking like an infomercial, but
Either way,
welcome to it. Are you still here? I tapped the microphone. Yeah, don't know if that works, but mate, thank you for having us. That was a really look at that. That's let me do that. I just got that. Ready? Oh.
The connection wasn't solid.
There
but
you are.
It was all right.
We'll do one more.
All right.
Hey.
It was all right.
Yeah, it's better.
That's 70%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Appreciate
me.
your time. Thank you so much for coming. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, send it to your neighbor, send it to the person across the street.
And comment love to all if you made it to this point.
Yeah. Love to all. There we go. See you on the next one. Peace out.
Lovely.
If you love this podcast, you'll love my interview with Shivani Powell on the importance of accepting and embracing others without judgment. Check it out.
With a knife, you can kill someone. You can hurt someone. You can harm someone. You can also use that knife to chop fruits and vegetables to eat. And also, you can use that knife by a surgeon to save someone's life.
Yeah.
And so with money, it's not a bad thing. It depends how you use it and how you show it.
Yeah. Totally.
And I think that there's also, we shouldn't pass judgment on people who choose to live in a big house or who choose to buy nice things or to choose to go out, because at the end of the day, I think we believe that if you're a monk, if you're spiritual, if you're this, if you're a woman, you're a man, this is the life you should lead.